In a deep, dark cave in a dodgy part of town, Greedy Gary was wearing a frown. He'd called a meeting, no one knew why, telling all the burglars they must swing by. When the gang all arrived, they were terribly tense.
"What if move?"
said Freddy the Fence.
Or doing it up.
Pete Penny Pickpocket.
Or retiring to Riga.
Greedy Gary called them to order.
Recently, it's not been going great, and there's nothing worse than losing our mate. Remember Jumbo Jack? He slipped and cracked his back. And Pint-sized Pete, he got ran down by some sheep. Betty the Brain went and tricked down a train. And let's not forget Mog, who got eaten by a dog. So ran a real think, and it's time for a first.
The burglars leaned in, expecting the worst.
So let me introduce Harry. She works in health and safety.
Out from the shadows came a woman looking pasty, with thick round glasses and hobnail boots. She didn't look like a burglar of suits.
Harry's here to stop us getting in trouble, to help us out when we're in a muddle.
And just like that, the deal was done.
Until tonight, when we'll have some fun.
When the sun said goodbye, the burglars gathered to earn their slice of the pie. Greedy Gary laid out his plan for a big night out on the lam.
I heard a story about a wealthy old miser. He hoards his money and it's time he got lighter. There's swags in his castle, surrounded by danger. A big old pile of money, I'd wager.
As the burglars approached, Larry put his ladder on the wall. But as he raised his foot,
"Stop!"
came a call. Harry was waving her pen.
You can't just climb a ladder as and when. It's too dark and the grass is too slippy. Just look at this ladder. It's not very grippy.
Larry stood back.
I guess the night is awfully black.
There's nothing else for it. We'll go in at front door. Besides, it's freezing out here and my feet needs a thaw.
The burglars were rather taken aback. This was a most unusual tack. But before they could protest, Harry gave the doorbell a test.
Who's there?
Came a grumpy old man carrying a lamp.
It's Harry from Health and Safety. I'm here about the damp.
As he opened the door, the man showed no fear. As Harry continued,
Just look at your floor. Oh dear, oh dear. And I bet it's the same back round in the rear. Look, we're being contracted to do this place. I don't like regulations and these castle's a tough case. So if you could show us around, we'll keep it nice and tight.
Harry's health and safety badge twinkled in the light. The old man opened wide and let her in.
Well, I never. Bloody Rose, where do we begin?
Harry whipped out a clipboard and wiped her feet on a lat.
Let's go from bottom to top, and then that'll be that.
The burglar gang were positively amazed, while the owner was looking mightily dazed. Yet he raised his candle and lit a torch ablaze. Off they went through the hallways and rooms, Harry noting out loud,
Aha! Phew!
She said,
Your suit of armour is far too sharp. Has anyone ever cleaned this harp?
Up and up Harry went towards the treasure, and at every door she got out her tape measure. She would here and give a sigh over there, while the owner's face grew from red to fair. Till they reached the highest tower, and when the old man unlocked the door, the burglars stretched their necks, coins and gems galore.
Well, it all looks to code in here, I must say.
Gary almost choked as Harry said,
Well, we must be in our way. We've seen all we need, and it's been a long day.
But before Gary could protest, the old man spluttered transfixed.
What, how much would it cost to get everything fixed?
Well, that depends, but I really must say, I wouldn't be the one to have to pay.
The old man looked bleak as he struggled to speak. He said,
Look here, could I wet your beak?
yet before he spoke, Harry cut in, looking rather mean.
You can't be trying to bribe an official of the Queen.
Well now, course not. Hang on a minute. I was just saying if we could share some good spirit, I'm sure we could find a reasonable limit.
Well, I dunno. You see, it's quite a big deal. It's an awful lot to conceal.
Harry began to protest, but Gary got in first.
I'd say an armful of coinage, or I'd fear the worst.
Oh, of course. It might smooth the way.
It looks like your lucky day.
Gary winked. He folded Harry's notes and tucked them safely away, before the burglars helped themselves to an armful of pay. The old man was eager to get them to leave, running them downstairs with no time to breathe. By reaching the door, he looked ready to heave. Harry was the last one out.
Thanks to your help this eve, should we be in the local area, we'll consider a second thief.
The old man's face blew volcano red, but the burglars were off, speeding into the night in an old Volkswagen Golf. Back at the hideout, Harry tucked up in a corner, safely cuddled up where it was warmer. The burglars toasted her clever lines, celebrating the night with the castle's fine wines. So here's to Harry, the best burglar in town, a cheeky thief of some renown, cozied up in her nook, in a nice, shiny crown.